Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Not too bad at all. Glad it's Friday.
You and me both. Hey, happy 75th episode.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thanks. 75 episodes. So I think about where we were on actually 76 episodes ago. If you go back and you look in our YouTube channel, you'll see there's an episode 0 where you ate all the toast.
I
and
knew you
marmalade.
were going to bring
Yeah.
up, oh, you ate all the toast.
I mean, I've totally let it go,
Yeah,
but you know, I'm
definitely.
struggling with it. Just when it sort of hits my mind, very, very rarely, very periodically.
It was good toast.
So 75 episodes ago, boy, we had no idea what we were doing, and sadly, I'm not sure we have a
Yeah,
lot
I
more.
wouldn't say that's improved much.
No, it's improved a little.
We've had some great guests.
We've had great guests. We've had great conversations. When I think about our 50th episode, you know, that was 2 days after I came back from my writing retreat. So it's hard to imagine that was 25 episodes ago. And really hard to believe that we are now just 25 episodes away from 100. We already have a great big celebration planned for 100. So I hope you will keep tuning in. But this week, with the exception of our conversation with Grant Severson on Wednesday, we have been talking about this book, The Choice, which was such a beautiful book. And I just want to thank my Aunt Judy again for sending it and actually for inspiring today's challenge, which we'll talk about in a second. But this book was just really powerful, both as a book, a standalone book. Her story is amazing. Her resiliency, her ability to overcome, really, for me personally, what's that word when you can't fathom it? Unfathomable, we'll go with. That's not the word I was looking for, but fathomable challenges and loss and devastation and trauma, and really the survival of the human spirit. She's just incredible. So I cannot recommend The Choice by Dr. Edith Eger enough. Cannot recommend it enough. In fact, that's maybe a secondary challenge to today is get this book and read it. The Choice, Embrace the Possible. You will not walk away from it and go, that was a disappointing book. Didn't take much from it. You will definitely take something from it. And it's not about being an addict. It's about being a human being who's alive and present in the world. So that's been the week. And we're wrapping it up. But what I wanted to do is we want to challenge you to do something we're going to do too. Think about your favorite book or books.
Yeah, we couldn't.
Yeah, my gosh, I could do a 15-hour episode
we have books,
on this. Yeah, we do. I had to stop thinking because there's a million books I would love to do this with. But think about your favorite book or a few books. Purchase a copy of them and send them to someone who needs them. You can send them individually to individual people or send them as a collection to somebody who you think might enjoy it, might need it, it might resonate for, whatever it is. So I've already talked to you about The Choice. And the first thing that I'm going to say to you is if you watch and comment anytime today on either Extraordinary's page or my page, or if Maz shares it on his page, we will pick a winner randomly and we will send you my copy of The Choice because I don't think I would read it again. It was a stunning book, but I'm a lover of reading something you love and passing it on. So in the spirit of my Aunt Judy, even though she sent me my very own copy, we're going to send this copy on to one lucky winner because we think it's worth being read by lots and lots of people. So that's one book. Then I have 3 more that I'll try to go quickly through. Creative Careers. This book by B. Jeffrey Madoff that I came across this summer. I'm not sending you this because I love this book. But this book, I really do recommend you to go out and read if you're somebody who is creative in any sense. This is not a book for artists. This is a book for creatives. He says a dentist who comes up with a new way to do a filling is a creative person. So if you are looking at making a career shift in your life, something that seems really important to you, this is a great book. It's got questions at the end, workbook questions. I keep showing you this like that matters to you. It has workbook questions that are really, really practical. They are answerable. You know, it's not like, well, what would you do to get your first $1 million? They're practical questions. So, for instance, how can you organize information differently to widen your frame? That's an open-ended question, but that's a question you could absolutely answer if you're thinking about what's next in your life. So that's one of my books. Dr. Mary, you do one.
Oh,
We'll go back and forth.
I'm going to start in no particular order.
It's very hard to find the
Treasure Island.
Yeah. Can I show them the inside
Yes.
page that you may or may not be able to see? Look at, this was Quinn's birthday present to Maz for the first birthday that we were together. Isn't that so sweet? Look at Quinn's writing. So he would have just turned 6. Okay, back to you.
Yeah, I've always just loved this book. It's just, I think we read it in, how old was I? It might be middle school or grade school or something like that. It's just it's a fantastic book. It's all about adventures, which I thought it was all about adventures. But when you read it when you're older, it's about bravery and it's about courage and it's about finding yourself. So it's actually a really interesting, but it's actually wasted. It's a children's book. It's wasted on children.
Yeah,
really
as
is.
many children's books are.
Of course, it's all going on the high seas and pirates and
Sorry, I'm responding to things as well.
Stuff I do like. So, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so Treasure Island. You said something this morning that I thought was fun. You said it's an adventure of a young boy who sort of has to navigate the adult world. So, my next one, probably my most read book that's not by Jane Austen or Charlotte Bronte.
Oh, this is bold.
Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. Also, I'm not sending you this because this book, I said to somebody yesterday, I would lend you my copy, but this looks like a little kid went to town with a box of Crayola markers because I have read this book about, I don't know, 10 times probably. And each time I read it, I try to mark it in different ways. I try to note kind of where I'm at in my life. So it's actually become kind of a journal for me. I can go back and I can realize, oh my gosh, I knew change was coming in November of 2016, but I had no idea that the change would be you getting sober. So it's really, it's a touchstone book for me. Again, it's primarily for creative people in the arts, but not exclusively. And it's just an amazing book. And this is from my mom, read it first and recommended that I read it. So Maz gave it to me for my 30, how old I have been in 2015, 5 years ago, 32nd birthday, 42nd birthday. And I have loved it ever since. Next.
You're going to be all right with this one?
Yeah.
Moby Dick. Dana, I believe, has got to page 110, I think.
Which was quite an achievement because it's not a page turner.
But they hadn't left the dock yet. So
no, they've not left the dock. I've not met the whale.
It's all about, this book is just, I just think this book is brilliant. It's got everything in it. It's what happens if you get overdriven by something. Revenge, what it does to you. It destroys your soul. It destroys everything you have. This book's about learning to face your fears, but also learning when to quit.
A hard lesson.
It is. It's wordy. I'm not going to lie to you.
Herman had a lot of time on his hands.
It's a very descriptive book, but the message in this book, what he wanted to get across, and the story behind it, and it's about survival. I wouldn't say I recommend it for someone who's trying to get through sobriety, but it's maybe after a few months, try reading this book.
Some people say it's about Jesus. says the Irish Catholic.
Yeah, it's not. Honestly, it's got a big freaking whale in it right there. No, it is. It might be about
Sort of your quest for something
Yeah.
larger than you. I
It
say
is-
like I've read it.
It's definitely a quest, and it's a very, very good book. There's a lot of important lessons in there that will actually, if you listen, you'll hear them.
I will say this. I forget who Herman Melville wrote to. Somebody like, who cares? Can't get it. One of the great transcendentalists. His name has totally left me. Not Thoreau. Emerson. I think he might have written to Emerson and said, I have a story in my head of an epic tale and a quest that will not leave me. But my fear is that I do not have the time to put pen to paper. And I mean, I'm not going to read Moby Dick. I know I'm not. I'm not even going to pretend that I'm going to. 160 pages in, that's as far as I'm getting. But imagine had he not written it. And my challenge around that little story is this. What is living inside of you that you are afraid you will not put pen to paper, finger to keyboard, whatever you need to do? Don't let it live in your head. Get it out. All right.
I mean, this book's actually based on a true story of survival. I mean, he based the book on what happened to a whale ship called the Essex.
Yeah.
And they survived.
Well, a few of them.
A few of them survived. They had to resort to cannibalism, but they lived, some of them. And he actually interviewed one of the last survivors to get information for his book. So
yeah,
a lot of story in there.
All right, will you do your next book last book, please, so that I can do this one?
This is a complete guilty pleasure.
Nothing wrong with a guilty pleasure.
It is a Star Trek novel, Final Frontier. I can imagine people doing this. But what's this one's about? It's Kirk. He's not perfect. You think this man's a superhero. He isn't. He's reeling in the fact that he fell in love with a woman having to go back in the past to put history right, and he had to let her die to put history back on track. And it's all about him trying to relearn a lesson from his dad that when he was 10 he didn't listen. So he's reading letters from his dad when his dad was in Starfleet, and it's his dad's secret first mission, the lessons he learned there that he was trying to pass on to his son.
Yeah, I think the theme of your 3 books is questing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, that's a fabulous life goal. I mean, we're all on a quest.
If you look at this, it's a Star Trek novel. It's a book with hidden depths. It really is.
All right.
Some Star Trek novels are appalling, but this one is incredibly very good.
This one is amazing. I have read pieces of this. It's totally readable, which is pretty high praise for me. All right, here is the actual piece that we are doing. The choice that we're sending is kind of a bonus. This book, Braiding Sweetgrass, by Robin Wall Kimmerer. 2 of my board members at the Arts Partnership recommended this book, and they talked about it so beautifully that I borrowed it from one of them, read it this summer, and then immediately went and ordered 2 copies from our local bookstore. We did not order it through Amazon. We ordered it through our local bookstore, even though it's available on Amazon, because the point is to support your local bookstore where you can. But we ordered 2 copies with the intention of keeping one and sharing one, and I just haven't shared it yet. So today's challenge from us is the people who comment will get entered into a pool. We're going to send 2 books today to 2 different people. One is The Choice, and one is this absolutely stunning book called Braiding Sweetgrass. She is Native American. She is a member of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation from, I believe, upstate New York, largely. But she's also, she's basically Dr. Mary. She's a plant biologist. So she comes back and forth between sort of a native approach to nature and a biological approach to nature. And I promise you, if you read this book, you will never, ever think about things the same way. And I'll just make this really brief. As we were cleaning out the garden, getting it ready for winter, which came sooner than we expected,
Yes.
last weekend, I was pulling the dead annual flowers out of the pots. And I do that every year. But this year, because of braiding sweetgrass, I thanked them for all of the pleasure that they gave me this summer. I enjoyed my garden more than I ever have before because I was home all summer long.
That's something you miss before you.
Well, when you're in an office 8 hours a day or you're traveling.
Before you started working at the Arts Partnership, you were always in that garden.
So I have a different relationship to nature now than I did. And nature is broad. She talks about thanking the hardwood floors, thanking the trees that became the flooring that lives in your house. You have to read the book to not have it sound a little bit wonkadoo, but it's a beautiful book, and we would love to send it to you. So, thank you for watching us for 75 episodes. We think we're only going to get better because we're starting to work with other people, which will be good.
Any worse, no. Well, this is better than the first one. I stopped eating your toast.
Yeah, it's true. I don't bring toast to the conversation anymore. That took care of that. So, thanks so much for watching.
Thank you. Have
Let
a great
us know
weekend.
In the comments that you watched now or sometime throughout today. Tomorrow morning, we'll pick our winners. We'll get your addresses and we will get these books in the mail to you. Have a great weekend. Continue the challenge. Figure out your books, buy at least one of them, and send them to someone you think would enjoy it too. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.